My heart's beating, my hands are shaking, but I'm still shooting, and I'm still getting headshots. It's like boom, headshot, boom, headshot, boom, headshot.
Sonic Rush Adventure was a game I remember not even giving a fair shot to as a kid. The presentation is a key factor behind why I wasn't into it, considering how much I love Sonic Rush. Overall, the music is weaker. The sound effects are weaker.
Get ready to be schooled.
And the frame rate gets cut in half when you fight bosses. To add to that, the whole sailing thing on limited fuel really threw me off back in the day. Of course, since I was a dumbass kid, I was of the belief that if Sonic and Adventure were in the same title, the game is gonna be crazy and be 3D and all this shit. Listen, I know it's dumb to think the DS was gonna handle all that, but I thought it was gonna be something in the same vein as like Super Mario 64 DS or some shit, where like the 3D control's a little weird, but it's still technically like 3D, you know what I'm saying? Perhaps it should have been swallowed, who knows? However, these were just gut reactions to the game. After finally giving this game a thorough shakedown, I come with horrible news to child me. Sonic Rush Adventure was just better.
Oh yeah.
The changes from Sonic Rush to Sonic Rush Adventure can be simplified by saying that Rush does a better job at delivering that moment-to-moment gameplay. When you pick up Rush, you're always in the action. With Rush Adventure, you get a lot of downtime. It's a lot more cutscene focused, and it tries to make you explore. On paper, a player like me would prefer Rush over Rush Adventure, but the key difference that makes me say that Rush Adventure is better now comes down to the levels and bosses. Now, let's not act like Twitter users here, alright? Rush is still amazing. If you can, and I know you can, don't doubt yourself now. Just play both. These are two raw-ass games. Rush Adventure starts out with Sonic and Tails kicking the shit on the airplane, and then bam, they end up washed ashore, and this new character that tries speaking on some "yar mateys" shit gets them all set up to go and start the game. I'm gonna be real here, the story doesn't really live up to having the word adventure in it. Think back to Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, where the story still tried to put a sense of danger to whatever the hell is going on, despite like whatever little situation we get. In this game, we get more of a pretty lighthearted tale. No real stakes or anything like that, but that's fine. So we get to do this little tutorial kind of level, and it is only here to introduce yet another divisive mechanic.
Wow.
At the end of each level, there's a treasure chest. This is essentially your goalpost. Beating levels nets you materials which you might have to go and grind for, but it isn't as bad as it seems. The cost for everything you need isn't that high. My favorite part of this mechanic though is that the materials you get are dependent on how well you do in a level. I feel that most players wouldn't really want to lock in on doing as best as they can on any given level, so this further incentivizes going after higher ranks on every level in the game, and I think that's cool. I can understand the frustration that may come with having to replay levels you have already seen, but the main ones are pretty damn dense. You will end up finding new routes, and the pressure of trying to keep your rings high and your time low rarely kept me from getting bored. Guys, I have a confession to make. I never really cared all that much for the letter grade I got at the end of a level in most Sonic games. I even failed to mention this in the Sonic Rush video. Shout out to this guy for pointing it out. It's a bit silly not to care because perfecting this shit is what makes it satisfying at the end of the day. Side note here. For all the ladies, I did go back and S-rank everything in Shadow X Generations, so if you're looking for a strange man with no plan, you know where to find me. Anyways, what I'm saying is that getting better ranks for the most part eliminates the grinding for materials aspect that this game has. You are being rewarded with faster progression thanks to your skill in the game. While I could understand the gripes, I feel this material thing is pretty dope for having that way of putting a carrot on the stick for a player to improve at the game in general. After getting settled, the game introduces the mechanic of sailing, and this is how you're going to be finding different levels to play. This is definitely a make or break point for people, but if I can convince you, just give it a go. We're given our first vehicle and introduced to sailing the seas, controlled entirely by the touchscreen. The first vehicle is okay. You can boost and do tricks on your way to the destination while avoiding obstacles. It's inoffensive and it travels the least amount of distance. Getting rings fills your boost meter, and this is okay as a mode of transportation. As you progress in the game, you get 3 more vehicles, and I'm just gonna keep it brief here. Only one vehicle is any fun to use, so don't go exploring till you get the hovercraft. This ship just consists of changing ammo types and tapping the screen, you know, pretty lame stuff here. And the submarine sadly goes the furthest, helping you fill out that map. But holy shit, this is the worst one. You gotta wait for these circles to line up before firing or slide with the enemy before letting go. You're playing some EBT Osu type shit with this. The hovercraft on the other hand is fun as shit. You are playing a shoot 'em up and you can charge your beam and spin around to deflect. It is the most engaging mode of transportation in this game. Not that the sailing is meant to be all that deep or whatever, but goddamn, the others are just so ass in comparison. It doesn't help that it's pretty easy to fail these and then you end up going nowhere as well. So if you want to have fun filling the sea chart out and looking for emeralds and hidden levels, just pick the hovercraft as often as possible. Despite my gripes, the sailing sessions don't last that long and the game mostly hints at where to go so that you're not wasting too much time. This pirate theme they got going on in this game is pretty charming. The best part of the theme is that the levels feel far more creative than in the first game. A huge improvement is the elimination of these kill all the enemies sections that were present in the first Sonic Rush. These weren't that bad, but never really felt necessary. The level gimmicks overall are far better as well. Instead of something like this odd part in the sand level of Sonic Rush, where you can't even run, you get treated to more fun and visually pleasing gimmicks like snowboarding and bouncing back and forth. The game plays around a lot more with 3D, as it should since it's a sequel. They were even confident enough to throw in a little grinding section off at the start. They also improved the stimming system where you're doing tricks in the air and you have to end it off with one of your R button press moves to get extra boost. This is all displayed with these little stars and a number that keeps adding up. The only level gimmick that sucks ass to me is the dolphins at the end of the game. Like, these just sucked, you know, you gotta just memorize them, die. Stupid. In terms of difficulty, Rush Adventure is a lot more lenient, which is pretty lame. Instead of putting the pressure on the player to keep progress, the pressure is now put on the ranks. The problem to me here is that game overs are effectively pointless. With Rush, that game over meant you're taking your ass back to Act 1, get better, cry about it, bitch. But that made winning feel more earned. With Rush Adventure on the other hand, the game over lets you pick up on the act you died on and it encourages like mindless gameplay, and if your head is not even in the game, why even play the game? It isn't that big of a deal, but it made some victories feel unearned. Now the bosses on the other hand in Rush Adventure are fucking awesome. Each one does something special, and to me, this is some DS cinema. Despite the game looking a little shittier when you fight the bosses, it's hard not to have fun fighting these guys. The first T-Rex is alright, you know, kind of like a copy of the first boss in Rush, but I think it's here to show the difference. When you get the boss to half health, the music speeds up and they enter this phase 2 of the fight, which is awesome. The T-Rex is falling, scenery is changing, music is speeding up. This is cool as fuck. Throughout the game, these bosses change it up a lot. You'll be fighting a Kraken that dunks the arena into the water. You're going to be jumping off attacks to enter the top screen and beat the brakes off the boss as long as you can. You'll be playing a mini level to kill some behemoth from the inside. A giant skeleton will pull out some fucking Soul Calibur moves trying to protect its heart while you weave around him and get some hits in on top of a pirate ship. You see what I'm getting at? This and the overall better levels are just what makes Rush Adventure better. But we're not done yet. To get the credits to play for the first time, you fight this fake final boss who is too high up to hit. You take out some cannons, get in there, and aim your shot. The fight is cool, you're constantly under attack, but the best part of this fight is definitely the ending. As the motherfucker is dying, he does one last ditch effort attack that you just can't dodge, but lucky for you, he is still on his way down. The screen gets bright, shit is looking grim, and then BAM! You put a stop to all that nonsense. It's beautiful. So, how do we get the true ending? Using the game's replayability factor, yay! In Rush Adventure, you can hit up the island and control Sonic in some rooms. NPCs around the game give you missions, and you talk to Pirate Girlie over here to access said missions. Blaze's set of emeralds are locked within these missions. Hers are mostly harder versions of the bosses. These are fun cause I love the bosses in the first place, so I'm chill with these. For Sonic's set of emeralds, you gotta race this dude Johnny. You can run into him in certain parts of the map while sailing. He's a pain in the ass. Don't even interact with this guy until you're able to upgrade the first vehicle. The Johnny races are sweaty as hell, but they are satisfying to clear. You get a good sense of speed in these, and they can get pretty tough. After getting both sets of emeralds, Eggman and Eggman Nigga come out the woodwork with the game's true final boss. It's a top-down shooter. Nothing really special here. Honestly, I found it to be one of the weaker bosses. I gotta admit, in terms of a finale to the game, the original Rush did it way better. That fight felt like the end of the world, while this one is flaccid. It's not the best note to end on, but luckily, this game is still hiding plenty of challenges. If you're looking for some challenges, mission mode is where it's at. Not every mission is a hit per se, but there's 100, so you got a lot to chew on. Some of these can be damn near evil, but I had fun figuring out the fastest routes for the time trials. Most of them take place in levels you have already played, so these are more of a check on your mastery of the levels. It's a fun challenge and adds a nice chunk of extra optional content to the game. Overall, I'm impressed with how much I ended up liking this game. Despite the amount of downtime to get to the meat and potatoes of the game and its visual and audio flaws, this game still manages to be fun and memorable. I recommend giving it a shot, especially if you love Rush as much as I do. I'm glad to say that in conclusion, Rush Adventure is a really damn good sequel. Rush Adventure is just better.